You know, sometimes, like, a joke, it can just blow up into this huge political thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's kind of what we're looking at today
Hmm.
with this Trump rally thing in New York City.
Right.
A comedian makes some jokes about Puerto Rico, and
Right.
boom,
Huge backlash.
huge backlash. All these reactions, and it kind of tells us some stuff about the election coming up.
It really does, yeah. What seems like just a random thing at a rally actually, like you said, tells us a lot about the bigger picture,
Yeah.
especially with the election coming up.
Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. So we've got Madison Square Garden, right?
Yeah.
Packed with Trump supporters, energy's high.
Yeah.
The whole point is to get the base excited. And then in comes Tony Hinchcliffe. This comedian, known for his, let's just say, edgy humor.
Yeah, he's definitely pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, pushing the boundaries.
And this is where things get interesting. He starts talking about Puerto Rico, calls it a floating island of garbage.
Yeah.
And, oh man, the internet just blows up.
It blew up. And it wasn't just the usual, online outrage.
Right.
It came from, both sides.
Yeah, both sides of the aisle, which is really surprising.
Wait, hold on. Republicans are criticizing a comedian
I know,
on a
but
Trump rally.
it's not what you'd expect, right?
That's really surprising.
It shows how sensitive this issue is,
Mhm.
especially in states with big Puerto Rican populations like Florida.
Right.
Florida's a swing state. The Puerto Rican vote there, that could totally decide the election.
So it's not just about, condemning the joke. It's strategic. They
Oh,
want to
so-
win those voters over.
Exactly. Congresswoman Maria Elvira Salazar, she's from Florida, she called the comments racist.
Mm-hmm.
And she really emphasized, all the good things Puerto Ricans have done for America.
Yeah.
Then you've got Senator Rick Scott, also from Florida.
Right.
He said the joke was insensitive and not even true. They're sending a message like, we see you, we value you, and we don't agree with that kind of talk.
Almost like they're trying to separate themselves a bit from,
Trump, at least on this issue.
a little bit, yeah. It's a tough balancing act,
Yeah.
They've got to appeal to their base, but they also know Latino voters are getting more and more influential.
So how about the Democrats? What was their reaction?
They've jumped on this chance to show how much they care about diversity and inclusion. Like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah.
She's Puerto Rican herself, right?
Yeah. Right.
She went online, said she was disappointed, even questioned if Hinchcliffe was being sincere.
Oh, wow. Calling him out like that.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
And then there's Kamala Harris.
Right.
She was actually a target of some of the stuff said at the rally.
Yeah.
She also condemned the comments. And this comes right after Bad Bunny, the Puerto Rican rapper, endorsed her.
Wow, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
A big name like that connected to the community, backing a candidate,
Totally.
says a lot.
It really does. Both parties are really fighting for the Latino vote now.
Yeah.
They know how important it is. So this one little thing, this joke, it's become this huge political debate about respect, representation, and the power of the Latino vote.
Exactly. And that's why this deep dive is so interesting.
Yeah.
It shows how something as simple as a joke can be like a mini version of the bigger problems and changes happening in America.
Yeah, for sure. So we talked about how Democrats and Republicans reacted, but what about Trump himself?
Right.
Where does he fit into all this?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? I mean, Trump being Trump, he didn't really address the jokes directly,
Yeah.
but he didn't condemn them either. He kind of distanced himself,
Right.
from the actual words.
Yeah.
But then really quickly he switched gears, started talking about his own plans.
Classic Trump. So basically, he used the rally to push his own talking points.
Exactly. Like he talked about tax credits to help people taking care of family members, which sounds, pretty good for lots of people.
Yeah. Seems pretty broad appeal.
Right. Trying to get working families on his side, different backgrounds.
Right.
But then almost in the same breath, he's back to talking about tougher immigration policies.
Okay, so not exactly winning over Latino voters with that one.
No, not really.
Yeah.
It shows how tricky it is for him.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to keep his base happy,
Right.
those who are really for that hard line on immigration.
Yeah.
But he can't totally ignore Latino voters either.
Right, especially in those swing states.
Exactly, like Florida.
It feels like a much bigger conversation than just some bad jokes at a rally.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
We're seeing both parties use these cultural and ethnic issues to their advantage.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're weapons almost.
Wow.
The Democrats, they're saying, look, Latinos have done so much for this country. We respect you. We value you. We'll fight for you.
Right. The inclusivity angle.
Exactly.
And Republicans are trying to walk this line, appealing to their base without, like, completely offending Latino voters.
You got it. And this isn't just happening nationally. It's in local elections all over the place.
Wow.
It's changing American politics, like, fundamentally.
Do you think this could backfire?
What do you mean?
Like, could these kinds of comments actually push Latino voters away?
Oh, definitely.
Make them vote against those candidates?
Yeah. It's called reactive mobilization.
Uh-huh.
When a group feels targeted, they come out in force to prove a point.
So both parties are playing a risky game here.
Absolutely. It's not just about votes anymore.
Right.
It's about what it means to be American these days.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Right. This whole thing, it started with a comedian trying to be funny, and now we're talking about representation, identity, the future of American politics. It's a lot.
Yeah, this incident, it's like opening a Pandora's box.
Totally. It's all about representation, identity, and what's next for American politics.
Yeah, lots to unpack.
Definitely. Makes you think, you know.
Boo.
Raises some tough questions.
So where do we go from here? What does all of this mean for the election?
Right. Yeah, that's the big question.
You know, we've talked about the Latino vote getting more and more powerful. And this whole situation, it really shows how important that group is becoming.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's not just the presidential race either. It's local, it's congressional, it's everything.
Right.
Think of it, you know those old scales?
Yeah.
Each side is a party fighting for control.
Okay.
And the Latino vote, it's like this weight getting heavier and heavier. It can tip the whole thing one way or the other.
Wow, that's a great analogy.
So both parties, they're scrambling, right?
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to appeal to these voters, but without making their current supporters mad.
Right. It's a tough spot to be in.
It is. It's a real balancing act.
But how are they doing it?
Well, the Democrats, they're pushing the inclusivity angle, you know, diversity, welcoming everyone, Republicans. They're trying to walk this line, acknowledging that, Latino voters are important, but also not going too far from what their base believes.
Which is on things like immigration and cultural stuff.
Exactly. More conservative views.
It feels like this incident, it's shown everyone just how sensitive these topics are.
For sure.
And how politicians can use them to get people motivated to vote.
You're absolutely right. It's a wake-up call for both parties, you know?
Yeah.
They can't ignore this, the way things are changing. They got to adapt their strategies, what they're saying, if they want to stay relevant.
So what do you think? Will we see more Latinos voting this year?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
And to be honest, it's hard to say for sure, but one thing's clear. Latino voters, they're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
They're speaking up, and they're going to have a big impact on who wins.
It's crazy. It all started with a comedian trying to get some laughs.
Right.
And now we're having this national conversation about identity, belonging, the future of American politics.
It's amazing how these things happen.
It really is. It shows that even small things can have huge consequences.
That's what we do here on the Deep Dive. Right?
Yeah.
We take these seemingly random events and we dig deeper, find the connections, the meaning.
The stuff that matters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just about the facts. It's about understanding why things happen, how they happen, and what it all means.
This deep dive has been really insightful, I've got to say.
Glad to hear it.
It's made me realize just how much is at stake in this election and how important it is for everyone to be part of these conversations about who we are as a country and where we're going.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And on that note, I'll leave you with this thought.
Oh.
As you go about your day, think about how this incident and everything going on in politics will shape the future of the Latino community in America. Something worth thinking about, because the answers will affect all of us in the years to come.